Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. And this is chapter 6. Chapter 6 of the book we're writing together, Chaotic Leadership. The comfort zone is an elegant cemetery. My name is Juan Manuel Jimenez, creator of prosperity, wealth, and abundance. Thank you for being here. And I am here specifically for that, to show you how, from this purpose, from this leadership, chaotic leadership, from here, how each one of us will be reborn, will emerge. Welcome, everyone. Someone says here, yes, Juan, I am wildly chaotic. That's how it is. That's how it is. In family chaos. Very well, don't worry. From there, I tell you and confess to you that this is where we need to work. And today, and I know that many, maybe you have been in this situation, you have been here, you have been in chaos, but you have turned it into your comfort zone. Because the very system has conditioned you and led you and told you, you have to relax, stay calm, don't worry so much, right? Have they told you that just stay nice and calm? And the truth is, that chaos is what has made you move forward today, but not in the way you would like, right? Not in the way you truly desire. And let's talk from here, from that chaotic leadership, from that comfort zone, which has dramatically become your shell, has become your lifestyle, and you've learned to live with it to such an extent at this stage of your life that you no longer, not even for a moment, see a difference between what you truly want and what you're actually living, because you've gotten so used to it that in the end what's happening to you now is that you've lost that essence, that spark. I want to start with this phrase. Comfort isn't life, it's a slow death with good lighting. I've sought out discomfort in my life every chance I've had. I'm afraid of it. I'm very scared of falling into the comfort zone, you know? I'm telling you this because it's very easy, it's very simple to fall into that zone. And I know that many of us sometimes I say, we've been there because we justify ourselves. So there are phrases like these that say, oh, but it's so much work, right? And I'm always working so much. Why do I even work, you know? Have you heard those phrases or said them yourself? I deserve it, right? Have you heard it? Have you said it? And the goal of this chapter isn't to make you better, because, well, the perfect phrase in speech is, you have to get out of your comfort zone. It's really bad for you. All that stuff. No. The message here is, we're at war, and the war is with yourself. How to get out of that zone to improve not just yourself, but everyone around you. Something that became abundantly clear to me a very long time ago indeed is that the absolute and only way you can truly teach something effectively is by setting a compelling example, only and exclusively by example, in every sense of the word. If you really want something to happen in your life, if you want the people around you to start acting the way they should, you have to be the first one to do it. It's that simple, that straightforward. You are the first person who has to show that you are truly willing to do whatever it takes to achieve the goal. I don't know if I'm making myself clear with what I'm telling you right now. If so, write me a check mark or send me a message there, and let's talk from there, from that communication, okay? It's a war against the most dangerous place in the soul, the comfort zone. The goal is to be able to make a complaint against procrastination, which is disguised as stability. Many of us have been there, and all we want is to declare war on it. Today, I invite you to declare war on that version of yourself, okay? I'm not telling you to fight it just yet. No, this isn't something that happens in a day. This isn't a matter of hours. This is a process, okay? Write it for me in the chat, right? It's a process. Now, I don't want you to get stuck in the process, because then that becomes your excuse. No, I'm in the process of improving, and then you spend 10 years like that. No. It's just about making a direct statement to our biggest opponent at this moment. And that's our version that only tries to please based on how much you've worked, how much you've put in. And in reality, that's not the case. If you start to compare, it's just not like that, right? I mean, what you work for compared to other things really isn't that much. Your struggle isn't really that hard either. It's not that tough if you compare it, right? What you've had to go through, honestly, it's not even. So when you do that introspection about what has really happened in your life, then you start to say, nothing that bad has really happened to me. I mean, I'm fine, I'm stable. And I don't really need to just spend my time resting and relaxing because honestly, it hasn't been that hard for me. Why? Why do you compare yourself, or why do you say that life has been so hard for you? Because you compare yourself to the people around you, and the people around you have most likely struggled or had it less hard than you simply because they don't aspire to as much. The problem lies in the fact that you aspire to a lot. So when you aspire to a lot, you face these situations. And that's where we need to start listening to our soul. The comfort zone seems safe, but it's a graveyard of decisions not taken. We've heard that a few times, right? So you go to the cemetery and there are many phrases that say, here lies a person who had many dreams and fulfilled none of them. And so you end up justifying your reality only by what has happened to you, what you've been through, and, well, that you're doing fine compared to a lot of people. And that's where we need to do the work. Right there, where everything seems completely stable, predictable, right? It really is a graveyard of decisions not taken. Every time you've wanted to do something and didn't follow through, it's a graveyard. And I want to tell you, give a soul to each thing you wanted to do but haven't done or didn't do. Tell me the number right there in the chat. Tell me the number. And if you're listening to me out there, leave me a comment. How many of those decisions or things you wanted did you not take? Did you not carry out? And in the end, forgot about because you said, it's gone now. I couldn't have it anymore. I couldn't do it. How many of those things today, if you gave a soul to each one of those decisions, those actions, how many would you have? Give me a number, any number, just to give an X, for example. It's just to give an example. Okay, 5. All right. Okay, that's fine. Okay. 20. All right. A lot. He says, there are a lot, but I still keep them in mind. All right, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, they're there, but they haven't been done. Now, the crucial question here is this. How little by little you've effectively silenced that inner voice. And that's precisely when a lot of people start to utter the following word. They start to emphatically say, grow up already, or you're simply too old to be thinking like that, right? Sometimes there's another voice that says, you couldn't do it anymore. Accept it. Stop dreaming so much already. That's why when kids say things, they say them so playfully, like if they say, I want to do this or that, right? So they say it sincerely, and we think they're just playing. But no, they really mean it, because they see it as possible, because there are no limitations. Human beings, adults, limit themselves because when it comes time to act, they're worried about what's urgent, not what's important. And by being focused on what's urgent, they end up completely neglecting their true essence, who they really are. The body survives. The body is who survives all this management and adapts to all this mismanagement that we develop. I include myself. In the end, everything you fought so hard for and worried so much about becomes secondary. And you realize this when your whole life flashes by in a second, in an instant, and you become aware of it. That's why people who have gone through a serious illness, a serious accident, through the loss of a loved one, they realize that in the end, what they worried so much about was trivial, it was superficial. I want you to understand that the body will survive and adapt. But the very soul, the very essence of one's being will continue to keep beating agonizingly, slowly but surely, little by little, until the very end of your earthly days, indeed. And I know, I understand, I comprehend that you're tired, that you're exhausted, that you've fought, that you've searched, but please endeavor to start from this small principle. And that is life in its general or worldwide concept. According to the rules of the universe and normal laws, is way too short. It's way too short. At most, if things go really well for you, and I mean really well, you'll live to be 120 years old. And that's assuming you're gonna inject yourself with something so you can even make it that far. I'm being very optimistic. The point here is that you have to look at it from a much broader, much more open perspective. And what are you gonna do with that time? I understand you, because maybe every day you get tired, you have some illness, some situation, time has passed, you've tried, you've already done. I know, I've been there. But if you're in this room, and if you're listening to me right now, it's because you know there's still something left of that, some of that curiosity, some of that spark, some of that feeling that tells you, I want so much more, I desire so much more. I want to be that extraordinary, happy person who can help, who can serve. I want to be able to achieve something, to accomplish something in my life. I want recognition, I want stability for my family, I want to be able to travel more. I don't know what it is that you desire, but I want you to reflect on that. Your mind adapts easily. That's why you see on the streets that there are stories of people who were successful and reached a point where they started living on the street and adapted to it. I remember a story about a girl who I think she was an actress. It came out on social media and they found her living on the streets in the United States as a homeless person. And they interviewed her and asked, but why are you like this after being beautiful and successful? What happened? What took place? She said, I don't know. Honestly, I started to let myself be carried away by my thoughts, by ideas. I lost my way, and now, well, I live on the street, but I'm fine, I'm comfortable, I have everything here. She was walking around with a shopping cart, and she carried everything in it. She carried her bed, her food in there, she had everything there. I don't know at what point I got lost. Because the mind adapts, and here the message is directed to the soul. That's precisely why. If at any point in your life you have experienced or suffered from persistent insomnia, chronic anxiety, profound sadness, or any related emotional distress, it's the manifestation of a repressed feeling. All these possible illnesses are actually the consequence of a repressed feeling that you silenced in order to fit into society. But it was part of your essence. And maybe it was deceived, maybe it was stolen. I know what I'm telling you is hard to hear. But that can change. Living only in the mind is dying in action. The mind has dreams, goals, objectives, countries to visit, things to do. But if you consistently choose fantasy over genuine action, that's precisely what the comfort zone truly is. It's giving up absolutely everything you've always deeply wanted just to disguise your authenticity or to numb all those cherished dreams you've always had deeply inside. You have them locked away in a chest. And I like what you just said. I keep that in mind. for when each one of us is completely blessed. If you're listening to me today, you are a blessed person, because many people went to bed last night expecting the next day to be the same. And in reality, do you know what happened? They didn't wake up. Many just yesterday. But what happens is that you see it in a relative way and think it will never happen to you. And even though you're aware that it will happen, you still hold yourself back. No more. Listen to your soul. Seek out chaos. I understand you. The message to seek chaos, maybe you're misunderstanding it. You say, but if I seek chaos, what will happen is that I might face situations and problems more often. Obviously, of course, because if you truly live in your comfort zone, a place where you don't quite know how to do things, you're going to be stressed because you simply don't know how to do things. But after you get over it, after you learn it, the very next stage will be much, much easier. Look at examples of extraordinary people. For example, Jeff Bezos. He recently got married and spent $50 million. And you think, but how? I mean, how can someone spend $50 million on a wedding? And here I am struggling just to make maybe $10,000. Because he never settled and always thought and said, this can be bigger than I even imagined, because he never listened to those around him. His surroundings are full of criticism, anger, and hate. It's full of people, full of excuses. Excuses. The biggest excuse is a disease and the cause, because excuse is the consequence. The cause of that excuse is repression under fear. So you end up with two sides. One, you're the one who judges, who criticizes, who bullies, right? But the one who bullies has never tried anything in their life. Never. And they never will, because they've already chosen that side. And the problem is that your surroundings seem like a lot of people to you. It sounds like many voices, because they might be the most important people to you, because there's a family bond, because there's a blood tie, all of that. But the more you listen to them, the more you regress, the sadder you become, because they're constantly judging and pointing fingers at you. If you stop listening to those people and instead focus on making things happen, on building together, then maybe, just maybe, you can prove them right, but in a positive way, and bring improvement to those people who criticize and judge you so much. You realize that that's the point I'm making. That's why the military camp from the 29th to the 1st of April is an awakening. It's a complete awakening, because there you will be confronted. And when you arrive at that place, don't come alone. Bring your whole family, your friends, everyone. The whole process you've gone through, everything you've experienced, will come to a conclusion there. I want you to understand, please, chaos is not going to destroy you. Chaos actually reveals what you truly want. Chaos builds. From that point, it then suggests a complete reordering of the elements. It encourages you to bravely break the script that tells you things have to be done that way. Who would you be if you weren't afraid? What would you do if you truly became that person you worked so hard for or dreamed so much about? The one you suppressed, the one you forgot. And that's not wrong. I'm not here to judge you. I just want to tell you to face the mirror and ask yourself if the version you like now, yes, I know. I understand all that mental duality that tells you, but I have to love myself. I have to accept myself as I am and all that stuff. But here's what I'm telling you. Look at yourself. And if that's truly what you've been building and shaping over the past few years, perfect. Stay there. But if there's something you want to improve, if there's something you want to change, chances are that if we keep acting the same way and keep working as if everything's fine, as if nothing's happening, as if we just need to take it easy, to relax, then most likely another 5 or 10 years will go by and absolutely nothing will change. And here comes the most sincere message I can give you in this chapter. Make a clear decision and stop being gray. You're either completely white or you're entirely black. Black stays where he is and takes responsibility, saying, that's it. I stop fighting, I stop searching, I stay here, period. Because every time I try, I suffer a lot, it hurts a lot. I can get over it, I don't know, I can do it. I've had many losses in every sense, family losses, but I'm not saying they died. No, it's just that they never saw me again. They betrayed me. Some even turned against me. Friends, financial losses, social, professional, even losses of personality. I've lost many things. But I decided that this chaos I live in is my comfort zone. Chaos is my comfort zone. And why do I understand this? And why do I know it's true? Because my chaos will be what brings me growth. It will turn me into a better version of myself. Chaos will give me the opportunity. In chaos, new ideas will emerge. The urge for change you felt over the past few days, the past few years, has remained just that, an urge. And an urge alone won't generate the energy. What will generate the energy is maintaining that steady pace of work. The urge for change doesn't always come from grand gestures. Sometimes all it takes is a simple phone call, one that is truly and genuinely sincere and says, enough is enough. That says, today is indeed the day, but a resounding yes that doesn't ever look back and doesn't ever step aside from its chosen path. I want us to focus on that. Tell me, so far, has what I've said made sense to you? Has it made sense? How are you doing? How's it going so far? Great. Are we on the right track? Do you want to hear the second part, or should we leave it for later? You tell me. We can leave it for later. Maybe it's not enough yet. The message has already come through up to this point. What do you all think? How do you see it? Excellent. Juan, go ahead. Pretty intense, right? Don't even think about it. Okay. Get ready, because from this very moment on, if you have truly liked the valuable information I've already given you so far, then now comes the real action. Now comes the path we're going to walk together. I know that you have certain obligations, and I understand that you have various situations that right now are clearly telling you, please just stop trying. I know that right now your obligations are your biggest excuse. I know it, I understand it, because many times I've done the same. But it's been that very clear intention to truly stop being just one of the ordinary crowd and instead to stand out and be recognized. That profound desire to truly change my family story and my own personal life. I don't want it to just be an intention anymore. I truly want it to become a tangible reality. I want each one of you to become that extraordinary person, to be the guiding light, the one who, by example, tells others. It hasn't been easy, it hasn't been simple. The biggest battle I've faced has been within myself, but here I am, proving that it can be done. Don't try to use responsibility as an excuse not to live. I know people who work their whole lives to have a dignified old age, their entire lives, and they held themselves back. They didn't travel, they didn't eat out, they didn't enjoy themselves. When they eventually reached their considerable old age, they had neither sufficient money nor robust health. When they finally wanted to enjoy life, they couldn't do it anymore because they didn't have the TI, the money, or the HIA before. They didn't have the time or the money either because they spent all their time working for it. And in the end, they had neither. It's sad. I prefer to live life to the fullest, to keep finding joy, even if just for moments, to keep living these experiences that might be superficial and that might give me hope, and it's just that hope, the greatest virtue, but also the greatest weakness. The greatest weakness, because sometimes hope gets confused. To keep fighting for something you already know isn't going to work, but you keep trying. But hope comes from faith, and that's where we need to sit and stay. That there is a power much greater than what you might have received from my words right now. I am only that voice. I am only that person who is trying to shake you, because what I'm telling you might already be in your mind, in your body, it's there. I'm just saying it out loud, putting it into words so that it gives you the strength, gives you enough power, and convinces you that you can achieve it. I know of others who have saved for many, many years, denying themselves any enjoyment or pleasure. And then, when they finally went out on their trip, they unfortunately got sick. Not because of the trip, but because of the accumulated fear. It's not merely the circumstances you've personally lived through, but rather the positive attitudes you consciously chose to adopt to effectively get out of that challenging situation. Perhaps your very own body is truly screaming out what your innermost soul persistently keeps silent. Illnesses that are purely existential, that are deeply mental, that are profoundly emotional. The woman went to the doctor every week, every single week, with a different pain. The pain the doctor would tell her, there's nothing wrong with you, you're fine. Until one day, just see how the mind works, she hurt herself on purpose, just to have a reason to keep going. I thought maybe that woman liked the doctor and wanted to visit him every day. But no, that wasn't it. She had a mental problem, it wasn't even physical. The doctor understood that message. And do you know what the doctor did? He said to her, look, I found a magic pill. It's gonna cure you of this, of that. He was specific about the problems that person had. The woman stopped going to the doctor. The doctor had given her a placebo, and she was completely healed. Give them a placebo. Give a placebo right now to that negative person who sabotages themselves every time they try to do something. I want you to give them that placebo and silence them so they stop bothering you. The real, the true, meet the real you, the real one inside should truly go out and seek what they've always wanted. Life is not activated by emotion. The soul didn't come here to pretend, it came to experience. You can silence your mind, you can silence your body, but what you can't silence is your soul. That's why we're working from here. There are those who dream on the inside, but make decisions on the outside. In the previous episode, if you haven't listened to it, go and listen to it. I talked to you a bit about my story in the Air Force, and I told you that, well, there everything was. Every day was I didn't want to go. Honestly, I really didn't want to go. But I went and obeyed. Until one day I got tired and made the decision. I left, and that was it. And I left really without any direction. I know that many of you maybe can't take such radical decisions because you have responsibilities and you have many things for which today you have obligations and can't make decisions like that. But there will always be an excuse. There will always be a no. I can't because of this, I can't because of that. That's it. Stop being indecisive. If you're going to try seriously. Go out and conquer, go and say and write down those 3 dreams you've always wanted. I want this, this, and this. And it doesn't matter what you have to do. As long as you don't hurt anyone, as long as you don't do anything wrong, go and achieve it. Do not ever change the ultimate goal. If you absolutely have to change the detailed plan, then change it once or even twice or perhaps 3 times, but never ever let go of achieving that fundamental goal, period. Do not trust other people. Do not trust large companies. Trust only and solely in yourself. Don't justify your mediocrity based on other people's opinions or on the situations happening out there. Number, set yourself a goal and say, even if it's the last thing I do in my life, I am going to achieve this, period. Because the soul didn't come here to pretend. Life is not a to-do list. I have to do this and this and this. No, it's a journey. You've planned a bunch of things and they haven't worked out because it's a journey. Sometimes the journey to the unknown, the leap without a parachute, is what will give you the solution, will give you the answer. Will you end up just like everyone else in the crowd? With frustrated dreams? With hysteria, with untold stories? With a life that was never lived? What exactly do you have to say about this particular matter? That's right. So far, Stuart says, I feel in tune with at least half of what you say. I have another belief about the comfort zone, but much of what you say is true for most people. I told you that chaotic leadership is just that. It's not just another kind of leadership. It's not more of the same. A lot of what I say here goes completely against what you've usually heard from all the motivators and all the speakers. For me, chaos is the opportunity. For me, chaos is the solution. Stop being afraid of chaos. Become the chaos. Because chaos, the problem is what limits you because you completely avoid it. You act out of fear. Become the chaos. Become that person who creates disruption, who completely steps outside of what everyone else usually does. And in that way, you will achieve your goals. I don't know a single person, I swear. I don't know a single person who has done things the way everyone else did and is a successful person. I don't know them. That person did something extraordinary. That person acted differently, thought differently. I want you to answer these questions. And let's start acting from here. What do you constantly put off out of fear? What keeps repeating itself to you that no longer works, that no longer serves you, that no longer fits you? You're going to make a map of what you haven't experienced? No. What do they usually tell you? No, make a map. Where do you want to go and where do you want? No. Here, what you're going to do is everything you've been putting off, I want you to put it there. And you're going to put there, right in front or to the side, you're going to write, I didn't achieve this because the excuse you've always given yourself. And after that, you are then going to carefully write a detailed letter to that deeply repressed self within you. And you are going to tell it, today I am going to truly bury you. Today this definitively ends. No more of these little excuses. I am going to start from this very moment, from here, to act afraid, unafraid, with whatever I have available, but you are certainly going to start doing it. Remember that in the previous conversation, in one of the earlier chapters, I mentioned that there were two very powerful forces. One was pain and the other was pleasure. And that pleasure is easily confused with a comfort zone. Seek out pain. Find your motivations through pain. And from there, I assure you completely that things will start to change. Not so that you look for in pain. Feelings of resentment, hatred, anger, as if the whole world owes you something. Number, it's so you can draw strength from it and automatically that changes completely. Silence the voices, because what affects you most is the conclusion you draw from those voices that were external. In the end, they're not even that important, not really. what happens is that for you, it has become your constant inner conversation. So when you talk to someone, that comes out because you're always speaking from a place of lack, of need, of what happened to me, what I went through. That doesn't nourish you. It's useless. No one is going to care about that. I follow successful people. I follow people who are always finding solutions. I follow people who are always looking for a way. Those kinds of people, not even the person who has already made it, because they're already up there, they're already dreaming up there, and good for them. I want to go with the people who are in the process. I like working with people who have tried and helping them rise to the surface. That we hit the gas and achieve it together. Frankly, and I've always said this, if I wanted to right now, I could easily stay in my comfort zone. I'm in a country where they speak Turkish, I work with Russians, and I speak English at about 70%. In other words, either I make myself uncomfortable or I'll never improve. And right now I'm working toward much bigger goals in contexts that have nothing to do with what I've always done. And it's been really hard for me. But that's the conclusion. The comfort zone is a prison with flowers. Tell me if you came to burn bright, not to slowly fade away. The comfort zone is essentially a state of mind. The comfort zone is a cemetery with soft music playing while you're there, already falling asleep. I believe we didn't come here to die slowly, we came to burn bright. It's not about giving up everything for just an ideal, a thought. It's profoundly about truly letting go, completely letting go of that persistent inner voice you've always consciously silenced, and for the very first time, genuinely holding on to it and confidently saying to yourself, from this moment on, I'm absolutely going to communicate and express myself entirely according to my authentic essence, precisely who I truly am, and exactly what I genuinely want to achieve in my life. Because life, in its relentless journey, isn't going to politely ask for your permission, and it will inevitably bring you to your knees as many times as it deems necessary if you simply allow it to do so. So go out and conquer. Go out and actively seek what you have always truly desired and work at it with unwavering intensity. Because even if you ultimately don't achieve it in the very end, you at least gave it your absolute all to make it happen. And you stayed connected, you kept dreaming, you stayed in a good vibe, you kept yourself in a position of constant growth. Starting over is just too hard. You're already on the path. Now don't let go of it, conquer, eliminate, and gather all those fears, write them down, and lock them away in the chest. And for every fear you kill, take out a dream and rescue it. That dream that's also locked away in the chest, go and conquer it. Go after it. Reach it. As the great Joe Dispenza says, the body gets used to surviving, but the soul only awakens when you choose to live beyond the unknown. You have to enjoy experimenting, moving, you have to get used to that. And in the unknown, experience grows. Through experience, you gain new skills, and from there, you become a different, distinctive person who contributes to society as a whole, and that's where your life generates wealth and prosperity. It's that simple. So, what do you think? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Chapter 6. Thank you so much for tuning in, truly. Chapter 6 of Chaotic Leadership with Purpose. This August 29th to September 1st will be an awakening. A human being will enter and a superhero of their own life will emerge. Thank you for joining me. We still have a long way to go. That's it. How nice, how cool. We have a long way to go. There are 30 chapters. Chapters 29 and 30 will write together at this camp. So we're on track. Right now we're at 28 chapters. We've done 6. We have 22 to go. But so far, after being connected for a week, well, actually it's already been 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks working on this chaotic leadership with purpose. How have you found the information so far? Good or amazing? Let me know, please. Tell me if it has touched your heart, if it has been useful to you, if it has truly been a means of communication for each of you. Raul says here, thank you, Juan. Golden information. God bless you. No, thank you all. Thank you for joining me. Every time one more person joins, one more, we have to reach our goal. Every person you connect to the opportunity, connect them to chaotic leadership with purpose. You have to connect them and have them listen to the others that are on the YouTube channel, right? I mean, have them listen to the others and tell them, look, you have to listen to this so you can get in tune with where we are. And that's where you'll understand that we're not just about money and business. We go beyond that. We're building from the inside, from the soul. And from there, we're making it so that everyone starts to rise up, to reinvent themselves, to redesign themselves. And the journey we're developing today, it won't be just another business. It won't be just another group. It will be part of your essence. You will live your essence here, and you will also take a lot from each one of us. Thank you again. I look forward to your comment in the WhatsApp group. If you're in the WhatsApp group, please write to me and have an excellent day. See you soon, guys. See you soon. Thank you so much to everyone. I want you to know that we're on iBooks, we're on YouTube, and we're on all social media platforms. Have an excellent day. This was Juan Manuel Jimenez speaking, creator of prosperity, abundance, and wealth for everyone. Take care. All the best. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Goodbye.